Thank you for your time. Where are you from?
I'm from France.
France. Okay. Paris?
Yeah,
Are you visiting or living here?
I'm visiting.
Is it first time to come to Japan?
Yeah.
Okay. Today I'm asking foreign people about their impression of Japan, like about their experience in Japan in general. But firstly, could you tell me what brought you to Japan? Like what made you to come to Japan?
I've been studying Japan in university for 4 years, and I really just wanted to see the country. I've been learning from the university. I wanted to see it in real life and how it is.
You studied what? What you studied in university?
I studied language, culture,
Japanese.
history, Japanese, everything. My major was Japanese in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. A specialist for
Yeah,
Japanese.
totally, yeah.
Everything like language, culture, and so on. Okay, so you learn about Japan in university. So I guess that you have some knowledges about Japan before coming here. So what was your main image of Japan before coming to Japan?
Japan is very clean. The people are really nice and polite. It's animes culture everywhere, especially in Tokyo. And from like the countryside, it's like temples and greenery everywhere. Yeah, that's how I thought it was pretty much.
Okay. So you had some image, like you mentioned some image of Japan, what you had before coming to Japan. And those images turned out to be true or not so much?
For the polite people part, it's true. Like people are so polite. Sometimes it's even too much. You know, I can't respond it. I'm frozen. Like when they're so polite, they bow to me. In France, we don't bow, so sometimes I'm taken aback. I'm like, what do I do? So yeah, that's true. The cleanness, totally true. It's really clean, like everywhere. In France, it's so dirty. I was really shocked. And when we went to Kabukicho, and she said, oh, it's so dirty because there was some things on the floor. I was like, no. That's not dirty. That's totally fine. In France, this is so much dirtier. So I was like, no, that's fine. She was like, no, it's so dirty. And I understand. I was like, yeah, really? And she was like, in Japan, this is dirty. And I was like, oh, okay. That's so nice. You guys are so clean. There, it smells like piss everywhere. And there's so much things on the floor every time. It's just, there's rats everywhere in Paris. So much rats.
Too.
Really?
Big rat.
Really? I didn't see them.
Well grown up rat.
I never saw even one, and I've been there at least like 4 or 5 times. It's not that much. I mean, in a Japanese point of view, maybe it's dirty because if everything is this clean, obviously you find it dirty. But to foreigners, this is totally fine.
Okay. Other than that, did you get some like impression of Japan, like including culture shock and so on?
The restaurants, like the tipping culture doesn't work the same in France. In France, if you have good server and you want to be nice, you tip them. You give them a bonus in money. So you don't give bonuses and you don't tip. This is strange.
In restaurants in Japan, did you try to tip for the first time?
I didn't, thankfully, because I heard from a friend that we don't do that, but she did. And she did before she came before me, and she tipped, yeah, and she tipped, and the server looked at her like she was weird and gave her back the money, like, no, and she was like, yeah, take it, and she was no, and that was very embarrassing for her, so she told me not to do it. She was like, don't do it, they don't want it. So I was like, okay, like it's rude, like you're looking down on them, so don't do it. I was like, okay.
Okay. But if you pay, like if you tip to the server, how much will you pay?
It depends on the service, but in euros, it would be like 5-10 euros. It depends on the service. I'm a student, so I only give 2 euros because I don't have lots of money. But my parents can give more. It depends on how much you want to, like, if you have really good service, you give more. It's just how much you want to, like, make a present to the person.
Was service in Japan like worth tipping?
Oh yeah, people are so like nice. They want to everything. Make sure you're good. Sometimes they even come over because I'm a foreigner. They come to me and they're like, "Is it okay? Do you need me to explain to you?" I'm like, "No, it's okay." But they're so nice. They're like, "Are you sure you don't need anything?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're really nice. So if I could, I would tip, but I can't.
So next question can be similar to what I ask you now. Like, but did you see some cultural difference between your culture and Japanese culture while you're walking around, seeing city or interacting with people?
There's so much difference. like the accord games. There's so many of them. We don't have that in France.
Even a little?
We have littles, but it's like 珍しい. There's not so much.
Rare.
Yeah, like rare, totally. And yeah, I don't know. I love it.
And did you try some games at arcades?
Yeah,
What games?
the claw games.
Playing.
Yeah, I love that. I also tried the taiko.
Drumming game.
Taiko. Taiko?
Taiko.
Taiko.
太鼓の達人
Taiko ka? Taiko no?
太鼓の達人
Tatsujin.
Yes.
Taiko no tatsujin.
Yes.
That was so fun. I've been to karaoke too. Loved it. That was so great. There's some karaoke's in France, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
I heard that you interacted with Japanese people. What was the impression of them, and did you find some cultural difference in terms of like people?
My friend that I've known for 2 years, but on the phone, online, she was really so nice in real life. She was so cute, and I mean, she just wasn't that much different of how I thought she would be. She was really nice, really cute, and we laughed a lot, and she helped me understanding kind of like what's happening around me. Yeah, that was a really good interaction.
Okay. While you were interacting with her, did you have some, wow, it is different from interacting with French?
She really didn't feel much different from a French friend. It's just like normal teen, like just we had fun, and it was really just so funny. And with her, and no, I think it's probably the same. I've had interactions with Japanese, and they do that when they laugh. When they laugh, they cover their mouths.
Oh, okay.
Like other Japanese, and I was wondering why.
Ah, interesting.
Because is it because of the teeth? I was wondering why. I was wondering, is it a cultural thing? Like, is everybody doing that here, or?
Okay, you notice some like difference of like small behavior.
Yeah, little bit like. But other than that, people just feel really nice. They're really helpful. Like I met someone, I was lost and was wondering like, do you know where this shop is? And she was adorable. She was like, oh, I don't know, but I can search. She searched on the phone, and then she asked someone in a shop for me, and then she was like, I'm gonna come with you and bring you to it. I was like, no, it's okay, you don't need to. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna help you. But she probably had things to do, and she decided to stop doing those things and come with me, and that was really so sweet. Like, she was so sweet.
Okay.
Helpful.
So basically, like, is impression of Japanese people good?
Yeah, it's good. Even though I had like some interactions that were weird, like people taking pictures in the train.
Totally strangers.
Totally strangers, yeah. And like I said, I speak Japanese. Well, I understand it better than I speak it. So I understood them talking about, I think, my boobs. I was like, what? And then they were like planning something together. And suddenly he put his phone on his bag towards me. I was confused because I heard the word like 写真を撮っている or something like that.
So were they taking picture of you?
I think. I don't know why, but they did. Maybe it's because of curiosity. Like, oh, a foreigner. I don't know. They were young, so I think it's just a joke between young people, but it was still very embarrassing.
Okay. There were some negative experience
Yeah,
though.
but in France it's worse, so I didn't care much.
Like, do people take picture of you in France?
Not of me, but maybe they did, but I didn't see them. In France, like, there are people catcalling you. It's like when the girl is walking on the street and then you scream at her or you whistle at her, like you call her, hey, come here, baby, things like that. And there's that a lot in France.
Try to flirt.
It's really embarrassing, so I think it's worse. Both are embarrassing, but people screaming at you in the street is kind of worse than someone taking a picture of you.
Okay. But I guess both of them are rude.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So you talked about like good part and negative part too about Japan, but what did you like the most about Japan? Like, what was your highlight? What did you enjoy the most?
Probably the team lab. It was really, really great. I really loved it. I think it's a really good thing to do if you come to Japan. Like, if you're in Tokyo, the team lab is really a good experience. I really loved it. And other than that, maybe the Hie Shrine, Hie Jinja.
Hie Jinja. Is it Akasaka?
Yeah, maybe. I know it's like next to Nagatacho,
Yes,
and
yes.
the Kokai Gichitomae that's next to it, and it's really, really such a beautiful scenery, and the min, like the insects.
Cicada?
Yeah, you don't call them min?
It's called semi, but there is some like species of semi, like minmin zemi and aburazemi.
So complicated. But yeah, these are really great sounds.
Oh, great sound.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's noise?
Noisy? No, I like it because it's like a part of Japan, you know?
Okay.
Like it's when you think of Japan, you can think of cicada, like that comes with it.
I see.
I think it's from the animes. We hear them so much in them that I wasn't even surprised when I came here. I was like, oh, okay. I expected it.
Okay.
It was really nice. In the temple, there's a lot of it. And you hear it in other temples too. And that was really great. In the gardens, like imperial gardens, you know, pretty scenery, beautiful, very beautiful.
What you mentioned about like the sound of semi was very interesting because some of viewers were wondering if foreigners feel annoyed by the sound.
I like it. Maybe everybody doesn't, but I like it. It's very loud, but it's enjoyable. Like it's really summer-like vibe, you know.
You feel some vibe too, like
Yeah, when you hear it, you're like, oh, this is summer, and it's such a great sound, you know. I like it. It's noisy, but I like it.
Like, don't you hear the sound in your country?
Yes, we do in the south of France, but I don't live in the south of France.
Not in Paris.
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think so. I've
Okay.
never heard. Maybe some Parisians are going to be like, yes, we have that. I don't
You just
remember.
noticed?
I don't remember that, but maybe.
Okay. So lastly, after experiencing Japan once, did you think that you want to come back to Japan, or do you think that you want to live here?
I really want to live here for at least like around 5 to 10 years.
4, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because actually my career is based on the fact that I live here because I have a degree in Japanese now and I'm gonna go for degrees in international relationship and my goal is to work in diplomacy in Japan.
Okay.
That's my main goal. So my plan is to finally live here for my career. So yeah, I really want to work here. I want to live here.
Of course, as you mentioned, you are interested in like living in Japan, but are there some like concern about living in Japan or living in abroad in general?
Maybe the look you get as a foreigner.
As you mentioned.
Yeah, maybe you never get accepted, I don't know. Or maybe the fact that you need to settle in a country very far away from your family. It's kind of scary because if anything ever happens, I can't be there, you know? And if something happens to me, they can't be there either. So I think it's kind of like stressing me out, but it's an adventure. And I want to take it. So yeah.
So what are you looking for about living in Japan?
It's very calm and I don't know actually. I just feel comfortable here. I just feel good, you know. I'm only in holiday, but I could see myself living here, you know. Like it was only like it's gonna be only 3 weeks, 2 weeks, but it's still I'm like okay, I could see myself doing that for longer, like a longer time. So yeah, I just feel comfortable living here and I want to try it. And if it doesn't go great, then I go to some other country.
It was very nice to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
ご視聴ありがとうございました。いかがだったでしょうか？動画のご感想やテーマのご要望などコメント欄で教えていただけますと幸いです。たくさんのコメントお待ちしております。チャンネル登録の際は通知ボタンもお忘れなく。